Breaking news! A major blow is coming for millions of older retirees across the UK. If you're a pensioner or know someone who is, this is a story you absolutely need to hear. The Department for Work and Pensions, DWP, is under fire, and for good reason. As it stands, around 7 million pensioners will be excluded from the full benefits of the triple lock increase next year, raising serious concerns about pension fairness, long-term support, and what this means for some of the country's most vulnerable citizens. Subscribe to my channel, UK Pension Hub, your trusted source for clear, honest, and up-to-date news about UK pensions and retirement. Now let's break this down. Not all pensioners are treated the same when it comes to how their state pension increases each year. And in this case, the ones getting the short end of the stick are those on the basic state pension, mainly individuals born before 1953 if they're women, or before 1951 if they're men. These older retirees form a significant part of the pensioner population, and they are about to face a very different financial reality than younger pensioners on the new system. So what's going on here? Well, the triple lock is a promise made by the government to ensure that state pensions rise each year by the highest of three measures: inflation, average wage growth, or 2.5%. It was introduced to protect pensioners from seeing the value of their income erode over time due to inflation or stagnating wages. But here's the catch: not all parts of the state pension are covered equally by the triple lock. If you're receiving the new state pension, introduced in 2016, then you're in a better position. This version of the pension automatically benefits from the triple lock protection on the full amount. But those who retired earlier, on the basic state pension, are seeing a different story play out. While part of their pension may be covered by the triple lock, a significant portion, especially the part known as SERPS or the additional earnings-related pension, is only tied to inflation, not wage growth or the full triple lock formula. Let's pause for a second here. If you're a retiree on the old system, you probably receive two main components: the basic state pension and the additional state pension, which include schemes like SERPS, State Earnings-Related Pension Scheme, and S2P, State Second Pension. While the basic state pension is eligible for the triple lock, the additional component is not. It only rises in line with inflation each year, regardless of how wages or other factors perform. And that's where the problem lies. According to the latest available inflation figures for July, inflation currently sits at 3.8%. This means the additional pension component for older retirees will only increase by 3.8%, even if the overall triple lock for the basic state pension ends up being much higher due to rising wages, which is quite possible in the current economic climate. This effectively means that older pensioners will receive a smaller increase overall than those on the new system, despite having paid into the system for decades. It creates a two-tier pension system, where some pensioners get a bigger raise simply because of when they retired, not how much they contributed or how much they need. Former Pensions Minister Sir Steve Webb, who served during the coalition government and is now with the pension consultancy firm LCP, has weighed in on this issue. He pointed out that many people don't realize that their state pension is made up of different elements, and each of those elements can increase at different rates every year. It's not as simple as seeing a flat percentage increase on your total pension, far from it. According to Sir Steve, this divide has always existed. The additional pension, like SERPS, has traditionally only been tied to inflation and has never been included in the triple lock guarantee. Meanwhile, the basic state pension started benefiting from the triple lock in 2011. This gap in protection means that as time goes on and inflation and wages move unpredictably, older pensioners are left behind financially, and the disparity grows wider every year. Adding to this, Becky O'Connor from PensionsBee issued a stark warning. She said it's easy to assume that older people are generally doing fine when it comes to state pension increases, especially with news headlines often highlighting generous percentage hikes. But this is misleading. According to her, millions of older retirees don't actually receive these headline-grabbing increases. Instead, they're quietly being left behind, and it's creating what she describes as a hidden layer of pension poverty. It's a sobering thought. The belief that all pensioners are enjoying the benefits of rising pensions doesn't hold up when you look at the details. Those who rely primarily on the basic state pension and get only a small additional pension, often those who didn't have high earnings during their careers or who took time out for caregiving responsibilities, are especially vulnerable. For these individuals, even a small reduction in expected income can have serious consequences for their ability to afford everyday essentials, from heating to groceries to transport. This is particularly concerning given the rising cost of living. Energy bills are still high, food prices continue to bite, and many older individuals are dealing with fixed incomes that can't keep up. So when a large chunk of the state pension is only increasing at 3.8%, while others might see hikes of 7% or more thanks to wage growth, it's clear that the system is failing to provide consistent protection. So, where does this leave us? Well, until October, we won't know for certain which of the triple lock elements will apply, whether it's wages, inflation, or the 2.5% baseline. But what we do know is that only a portion of older retirees' pensions will actually benefit from whichever is higher. The rest will remain locked to inflation, no matter how much wages have risen. This isn't just a matter of policy, it's a question of fairness. Is it right that pensioners who happen to be born just a few years earlier receive smaller increases, despite having contributed to the system for just as long, if not longer, than their younger counterparts? And it raises an even bigger issue. Does the triple lock itself need reform? Some argue it's unsustainable in the long run. Others say that any reform must be fair and inclusive of all pensioners, not just those on the new state pension. At the very least, the system needs to be clearer. Many retirees are unaware that their pension is split into different segments, each with its own rules. The government has a responsibility to explain this better and to ensure that the system doesn't inadvertently leave behind the very people it was designed to support. As things stand, millions of older pensioners are heading into next year facing a smaller than expected rise in income. For some, it may mean cutting back on essentials. For others, it could be a wake-up call to start asking serious questions about how pensions are managed in the UK and whether the promise of dignity in retirement is being upheld. The government must take this issue seriously. Pensioners deserve a system that's fair, predictable, and sustainable. And they deserve transparency so they know exactly what they're getting and why. If you're watching this and you're approaching retirement, or already retired, this is a moment to check your pension statements, understand what type of pension you're on, and consider how this may affect your financial planning in the months and years ahead. The big question now is, will the DWP step up and address the growing inequality between older and newer pensioners? Or will they allow this gap to grow, year after year, until it's too wide to fix? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear: this story isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about real people, real lives, and the promises made to those who've worked hard their entire lives in expectation of a fair and secure retirement. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video informative, helpful, or eye-opening, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share this video with anyone who needs to hear this, especially older family members or friends who may not be aware of these changes. And most importantly, subscribe to my channel, UK Pension Hub, for more in-depth, honest, and up-to-date analysis on all things pensions, finance, and the issues that matter to you. We break down the headlines, separate the facts from the spin, and help you stay informed, empowered, and prepared for whatever comes next. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and stay informed.